Hey guys, welcome back. In the last video we quickly covered digital inputs, and I wasn't sure whether I was going to do an analog input video, but I was going through my little box of resistors and stuff and found an LDR, so I'm going to make a video on analog inputs quickly. It's going to be pretty simple like the last few videos have been. So as before, the first thing you always do is we need to look for an analog input pin. So I'm going to use PA0, which we used for the analog output as well, and that's going to be PA4. Sorry, I was reading over here, but A2 or PA4. So I guess we can come back to our code, and the first thing we're going to do is define the input as, let's give it a name, let's call it LDR, that's what our input is, and we're going to call it PA4, and then all we're really going to do with that information is we're going to display it on the serial port. If you haven't actually worked with the serial port, I've made a video on it previously, so I'll leave a link in the description to that. So we're just going to define a serial object. I think it's like that. And we're going to call that PC. It seems to be the standard thing to call it, and we're going to call USB TX, and you have USB RX. So we've defined our serial object as PC, so all we really need to do now is we're going to come into here, and as usual we're going to make a while loop, and I'm going to do while one. We're going to go in here and we're going to do pc.printf, and we are simply going to print the LDR value %f, and then leave a new line character and a return carriage, and we're going to close off that. And then we're going to also add the variable, which is going to be ldr.read. It's a really simple statement, and that's it. This is going to get us our value. And then what do we want to do after that? We probably want to wait for a bit, probably 2 seconds. That's probably more than enough. So we're going to essentially be coming into our loop. We're going to be reading the LDR value from here, and I've got a torch here as well, so we can see that change. Yeah, well, if you have an LDR yourself, you've got a circuit. So we're using the green wire to read the LDR value between one of the LDR legs and the resistor, which is then going to ground on this black wire, and then we have the white wire, which is just a 3.3 volts. Always make sure to check how much voltage what voltage you've got on the pin, because you don't want to have too much current going in or have too high a load voltage. So that code should now work. Let's close that, save that. Let's reopen real-time. You also want to check what pin you are in, which port you're on, which you can do with your device manager, and by default you'll be on 9600 baud rate. So we go to our device manager. If you're on Windows, then you want to come to ports, and our USB serial device is on COM6, so we can go to port 6 and just let's clear that. This is a previous code I was running just to test that it was working. So we haven't dragged our file down, so let's drag that into our board. There you go. So now if we clear all of that, then here we get our value. So we've got our LDR, which is what we're printing, and then the value reading in from the analog input. I've got a torch here, so I'm just going to shine that at the light, and then we can see the values are changing. Let's see what happens if we do that. So that's a less bright light, and this is a really intense light. So we're getting like a value of 0.13. Now that doesn't really mean anything, it's just we have a small resistor. So depending on the size of the resistor you put in, obviously the values will change, and they can set some kind of threshold for you. So that's it really for analog inputs. Soon we'll be covering some more complex stuff. So I hope that was useful. Thank you for watching.